Yeah, I mean, it was definitely one of the things that was interesting about the script. That sense of surprise. I mean, I mean, there are things that happen in the film that are just so, you just don't normally see in a film like this. I don't know if I'm allowed to give anything away, but some of the things that happen towards the end of the film. I mean, you kind of realize as an audience watching it that all bets are off. Anybody could go at any time, and that's the kind of movie you've stumbled into.
In a way, Martin Scorsese is a history. I mean, he's an iconic director. He's part of the pop culture. How was your experience working with him, and how does he work? Did you talk about the elements of your character prior, or if you could give us a little?
Yeah, I mean, I had a real leg up because I'm from Boston, and so he asked me early on. He said, "Oh well, he said, I know New York, but I don't know Boston," and so he had a lot more actually research that he had to do than I did because Wahlberg and I grew up there, so a lot of the legwork that he and Leo and Jack had to do just to get oriented, we didn't have to do because we're from there, but Marty's very specific and is interested in things that are real, and so my job was to try and investigate the subculture of the state police and spend as much time with those guys. We had a terrific technical advisor named Tom Duffy. He was a retired major in the state police, and so he dialed me into all these guys, and I went on ride-alongs with them and spent a lot of time with them, and having dinners and lunches and meeting their families, and then going to work with them and listening in on wires and watching undercovers buy drugs and doing going on a raid of a crack house and watching the guys hit the crack house and how they do it, and just spending a lot of time trying to absorb that culture so that ultimately I'd be believable as one of those guys.
So Matt, what kind of guy is Colin, in your opinion? Where did you find it?
Well, I mean, he's somebody. He's a product of his environment. He's somebody who meets this very powerful figure that Jack Nicholson plays very early in his life, and decides to. He kind of basically takes a loyalty oath to him, and that's ultimately his undoing. He realized he's self-aware enough later on in his life to realize that the Costello character that Nicholson plays is on his way out, and he's going to take everybody with him, and he's in a situation that he can't really escape. So he's trapped.
Costello, Jack Nicholson, he has such a, I mean, he has a great presence, and I would like to know, how was your experience to work with one of the most interesting people
Yeah,
out
I
there?
mean, it was great. I wish I had more scenes with him. He's a real force of nature, and he's wildly unpredictable, and he had the same kind of impact on the film that he has in the film, in the sense that he showed up and nobody knew what to expect, and he was he was this iconic, intimidating force, and he turned everyone's life upside down, and then he left, and that's exactly what it should have been, because that's everyone's reaction to him. I mean, Leo and I look like a deer in the headlights in all of our scenes with him. We're really, really, wary of, what's this guy going to do, and that's exactly how it should have gone. So, in that sense, I think of him as a very generous actor.
How different is Colin from Willie? Because they come from the same background in a way, but
Yeah, they come from similar backgrounds, but they made different choices early on in their lives, and that's those are the things that they're living with. They're fated in a way to end the way their lives to end the way they do.
the relationship with Mandolin, I thought it was very, very beautiful, but also is challenging for Colin. Why do you think is that was the biggest challenge of maintaining a relationship with the psychiatrist?
Well, I mean, I think he seeks out a psychiatrist because he makes, there's a small little, there are references that we make throughout the movie where he's interested in people who see, a psychiatrist, and does that, and he, in his own way, he's kind of looking for somebody to help him, and it kind of makes perfect sense that he'd end up with somebody like that. You don't get the sense that he's ever had a real meaningful relationship with a woman, and that he's got his own issues in that department, and so it kind of makes sense that he seeks out somebody like Madeline.
So Matt, from all the things that you could have done, why did you choose acting and screenwriting? Why did you choose this as a way of expression?
I don't know. I don't know. It just made the most sense at the time. I don't know. I was drawn to it. I don't know exactly what it was. Screenwriting was more of a you know, a way to enable me to act. You know, I did that out of necessity. Nobody would give me a job, so you know, Ben and I made our own job basically. But
You've been around for a while. Which film do you consider a turning point when you were starting, and why?
well, Good Will Hunting was obviously a big turning point, but The Rainmaker also was a big turning point. The fact that a director like that would give an unknown like me a chance, that was a big turning point.
How is it the experience with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Really good, really good. I was really impressed with his work ethic and his focus, and he just really cares about his work, and he takes it very seriously. And you know, years ago there were always stories. Oh, he throws water balloons at people, and he jokes around on the set all the time, and I didn't find that to be the case at all. I found him very disciplined and focused, and you know, really wanting to do a good job.
Matt, what do you think people will take out from this experience? For me, it was like, you know, the world is very ambiguous, and you don't know who you can trust, and corruption is close to the law as well, in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are, those are definitely, kind of issues. You know, a lot of things about deception and lying, and you know, when is it okay to lie? Is it okay to lie? The gray areas of human nature. I mean, ultimately, I think that's what Marty's interested in. He's not interested in saying the world's this way or that way. He's interested in studying the human condition, you know. And so all these characters are really interesting characters that you don't normally see in films with budgets of this size.
How unusual is it to work with someone who is not judgmental with the characters? Like in this case?
Yeah, I mean, he's not, what's nice is he's not commenting on it. I mean, he just allows the actors the freedom to do what they do. If he feels like you're in the zone, you know, if he feels like you, and, you know, he trusted me, you know, because I was from there and because I'd put in the time and the work. He really just let me do it, and he enjoyed. I mean, we had a good time working together. I mean, we enjoyed figuring these scenes out and talking them out and then doing them together, and it was a great experience.
My last question: with this kind of job, fame comes around, popularity. Is it damaging for you? Is it hard to keep your privacy?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's become easier for me to keep my privacy over the years, because when when Good Will Hunting first hit, you know, there was a real kind of explosion, and I everything in my life changed. But now I think I'm a little older. I think I've proven that I'm not really worth following around for the paparazzi, because there's not really a great picture they're going to get. You know, I live a pretty quiet, normal life, and so that kind of hysteria doesn't really touch me anymore. Knock on wood.